If I could go back to the early days of the internet, or even the moment smartphones just started to take off, you'll be asking who's building the system that everything runs on. Because real money isn't in the trend, it's in the infrastructure behind it. It's kind of like the gold rush era, right? Everyone traveled out to California to dig for gold, right? Everyone went to go dig for gold. Every once in a while, somebody would strike gold and get very, very rich. But 90% of the people that moved out to California that went to go search for gold couldn't find any gold at all. Those are the people looking for the next big stock, right? You could be looking for the next big stock and you keep swinging and you keep missing, getting hit in the head, right? But the people that was in the infrastructure behind it was the ones selling the pickaxes, the people selling the shovels for you to go dig for gold. They wasn't digging for gold, but they was the infrastructure behind the gold rush, to where every single person that was selling shovels and pickaxes at the time made money because they was investing in the infrastructure behind them. Whether if they found gold or not, they was in the infrastructure and they made money. They didn't have to dig around and hope and wish. They weren't about that lifestyle, right? So right now, we're watching the same thing happen again with AI. Billions of dollars are being poured into it. Companies are racing to build it. But very few people are actually looking at who's powering it. And the ones who figured that out early, anyone who gets this now is set for life. So if I wanted to find the next big tech stock that could actually grow over the next 3 to 5 years, I wouldn't just look at hype. I look at who's building the infrastructure behind the hype. But here's the thing, everyone keeps talking about Nvidia. So the real question is, who is the number 2 player that could quietly win big? Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite stocks out there, AMD. And I'm going to break down 6 real reasons why AMD might be one of the most interesting stocks to watch right now. From AI to major deals to something most people completely overlook. So before I get inside the 6 segments, I'm going to be talking about AMD. Let me show you guys my position. Right now, I have 2 options on AMD. I'm currently up $4,466, putting me up pretty much 30% since I entered these leap options. Now, here's the thing. My expiration dates on these leaps are in 2027. So I get to hold on to these leaps for at least another 1.5 years, which is amazing. And then I'm selling poor man cover calls on my leap options, generating extra income. So if you guys do want to know when I enter more leap options on other plays, I highly consider that you guys join the Patreon over here. I hold Zoom calls every single Sunday. If you guys do want to be a part of those Zoom calls, you can see every single time I buy and sell a stock. And right now I have 7-day free trials. There's literally no risk to you at all. You can come in there, take all of my modules, take all of my spreadsheets, things like that. Be a part of my Zoom calls completely for free for 7 days. If you guys like it, you could join. And if you just ain't got it right now, you just want to come in and take all of my stuff, that's cool. The least I can ask you guys could do is hit that thumbs up on this video and hit that notification bell, because YouTube might not show you my videos if you don't hit that notification bell. So if you are already subscribed, hit that notification bell. That would help me out a ton. I really appreciate you guys. The link to Patreon is going to be down in the comment section and also inside the description. And if you stick to the end of this video, I'm going to do a technical analysis on AMD, which might show you another great entry to enter on AMD. All right, part 1. This is why I really love AMD. It's because of their AI strategy, and this is their big picture play. AMD isn't just joining the new AI wave. It's positioned itself as a real alternative to NVIDIA, which currently dominates the AI sector, right? Right now, AMD, the company, is investing heavily inside of AI chips like the MI300 series, which is designed for training and running large AI models. What makes this important is that demand for the AI infrastructure is exploding, and companies don't want to rely on just one supplier. So that's where AMD is stepping in as a second major option, which gives it a huge opportunity to capture market shares as AI spending continues to grow. All right, so the second part that I like about AMD is their partnership and deals. Now let's talk about who's AMD, who are they working with? And we're not talking about small companies. We're talking about Microsoft, Meta, AWS, Oracle. These companies are building the backbone of AI. And AMD right now, they're getting embedded into that infrastructure. This is important because these aren't one-time sales. These are long-term relationships. And with these long-term relationships, that means recurring demand is more predictable revenue, and deeper integration will happen over time. All right, now this is going to lead us to segment number 3, part 3, the product roadmap. Why investors are paying attention to AMD. Now, AMD has been very clear about their roadmap, especially with this newer chips, the AI chips like the MI300, and future iterations of it is already in development. This matters because investors want to see not just what a company has today, but what can happen next. What is the company bringing next? So this shows that AMD is signaling that they are going to compete aggressively over the next couple years. They're not going to just release one product and hope it sticks. They have a strong roadmap which builds confidence that the company could keep up or even challenge NVIDIA, the competitors, in a fast-moving market. And then next up, they have the MI325 series, which is their next gen. It's more powerful, it's more memory. The future architecture is going to be the MI400. So they have these lined up in line in order to come out over the next couple of years to compete with NVIDIA. All right, now we're going to move over to segment 4, which might actually be the most lucrative, and that is going to be part 4, the data center growth. This is where the real money is. Now, the data center business is becoming AMD's most important growth engine. This segment includes the chips that could be used in cloud computing, workloads, and enterprise systems. And this is the sector that tends to bring in higher margins than consumer products. As more companies move to the cloud, and invest in AI, demand for these chips is rising fast. So AMD increasing presence in data centers shows that it's tapped into one of the most profitable and fastest growing areas in tech. So the data center sector, as everybody knows, has been shooting through the roof, and with data centers comes with people needing chips, and that's going to be AMD. So that is probably the most profitable sector there is when it comes to AMD. Now we're going to move over to part 5, segment 5, which is going to be the most recent news and momentum behind AMD and why it is in the spotlight right now. Now, lately, AMD has been getting a lot of attention from investors because of strong earnings, optimistic forecasts, and continued AI-related announcements. The market is reacting not to just what AMD has done, but what could it become in the AI sector. When a company consistently shows growth, secure major deals, and align itself with a huge trend like AI, it builds momentum. And that momentum often drives stock interest in the short term. And in most recent news, Wall Street has just signaled a buy and raised some of their prices on inside the AI sector on AI stocks. So this could be amazing news for AMD upcoming. Now we're gonna move over to part 6. This is just a part that I like personally. Is their relationship with Xbox and PlayStation. It's underrated, right? So now this is the part most people overlook. AMD powers both Xbox and PlayStation. So they're probably gonna power the next PlayStation 6, and probably, I mean, they already strike the deal to power the next Xbox. And their designs, and AMD, they designed the custom chips inside of these consoles. And this creates something very valuable. It creates a long-term partnership, a predictable sales cycle, and millions of units sold. But most importantly, developers are able to build games around the AMD architecture. So AMD just isn't in the consoles, they influence the entire gaming ecosystem. But of course, it is by far from its largest, the biggest growth driver. It's not AMD's biggest growth driver, but it is a stable foundation underneath everything else. All right, dreamers, so here we are. Everyone that's stuck to the end, here we are on AMD. This is AMD on the short term. We're just looking at the 1 hour time frame. Let me clear this up for you just a little bit. All right, so AMD is at the top of their Bollinger Bands, and they're also overvalued on the RSI. So I wouldn't go in too heavy right now or look to get in on leap options on AMD. They did have a most recent all-time high of a double top right here, as you guys can see. They hit this resistance point twice in the $275, $276 price range. It came up here once, it came up here once again, got rejected. So those are the all-time highs for AMD. But even though it did just recently hit this all-time high, this most recent high, you guys can see this gap right here. And whenever AMD make a big gap like this, it likes to come back to this gap to fill this gap. Once again, there was another gap right here. It shot up, it came back, and it filled this gap before it continued to take off. Let's find another one. Even right here, when it jumped all the way from $196 up to $216, it made this big jump, made this gap, came back and filled this gap before it continued to trend back up. And AMD always does that. When they make jumps up, they're gonna come back. Even this jump right here, this jump, boom, shot up, it came back and filled this gap. So whenever you see big jumps like that in AMD, like it did recently, I wouldn't go in too heavy on AMD right now. I'll wait until it comes back and fill this gap. And then that's why I'll start positioning myself to look for a long-term entry on AMD. So dreamers, when you're looking at AMD, you're not just looking at a chip company, you're also looking at a growing competitor. You're looking at a company embedded in cloud infrastructure. You're looking at a company that has a clear multi-year product roadmap, a high margin data center business, strong market momentum, and a stable long-term partnership like gaming. Now, does this mean that AMD is a guaranteed win? Absolutely not. But does this mean this is a company that is positioned to compete in one of the biggest shifts in technology that we've seen in years? Probably so. So if you're trying to build wealth through investing, you don't need to just follow hype. You can follow infrastructure, positioning, and timing. And right now, AMD is in the middle of all three. So if you want more breakdowns like this on AMD and what I'm going to do with them in the future, the real-time strategy, no fluff, make sure that you subscribe to the Dream Green Show. Hit that notification bell. Let me know what you think about AMD. Do you hold them inside of your portfolio? Let me know down in the comment section. Can't wait to see what you guys say. If you guys do want to sign up for Webull, I'm gonna leave a link to Webull down in the description. You can click them, sign up, deposit $1, get their welcome bonus, and start using that awesome platform and many free tools that they have on there. I'm gonna leave a link to Webull down in the comment section, also in the description. Consider checking that out. But dreamers, if you're really trying to set yourself up for success in 2026, I'm gonna leave a link right here to my stock split video on stocks that is splitting this month. Make sure that you check out this video and why it's so important that when companies have stock splits, you want to do a deep dive in on them to see how it's going to play out in the future and how I've used stock splits to grow my account multiple times over from using stocks. So if you guys are really trying to set yourself up in 2026, check out this video right here. It's going to show you everything that you need to learn about stock splits. But other than that, dreamers, Zeke, bring you the Dream Green Show, and I'm out. Peace.